My name is Brandon, and welcome back to Audio Addiction, where you can find the latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live video of bands that we catch, sporadically, but we try to put them out as quick as we can. Also, go check out our video tab. We do a bunch of other series on the channel, so definitely go check that out. If you enjoy, the album review or an interview or something like that, definitely go check those out. It would mean a lot. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button if you enjoy what we do here at Audio Addiction, trying to get to 200 subs by the end of the year. I feel like we can do it, so let's get us there. I think we're about 11 away, so I feel like we can definitely hit that before the end of the year. But anyway, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about Chronologist's new record, Cartographer. So, first of all, that was a tongue twister. I probably tried that like 2 or 3 times before I settled on this one, but that is a really bad tongue twister. But anyway, this band Chronologist approached me about I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they wanted me to do a review of their album. I had not heard of them at all, so I figured I give it a spin and see what my thoughts are on it. Hopefully you guys enjoy my review on it and things of that nature. But it was cool to see that. So if you do know a band or you are in a band and you would like me to review your album, definitely go check in the description for our email. You can either email it to us or you can Facebook message us, whatever is easiest or convenient for you and your band. Definitely hit us up. We would be more than welcome to do your albums. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Just make sure to leave a album art thing that's large enough that I can make like a thumbnail for. But that's pretty much it. That's the only stipulation. Other than that, make sure to send it our way. We would more than likely do it for you guys. So anyway, their new album, Cartographer, comes out December 2nd, just like the one I did last night, Crystal Lake's new record, True North. So it was kind of cool to do this. It was a little bit of a headache, but I wanted to try to get both of these out, as soon as possible. But we'll get into the first track, which is A Wit, if I'm not mistaken. It's this cool intro sort of track. I like the chappy sort of guitar intro and the heavy guitar, just instrumentals and stuff like that. They have no vocalist, so it kind of is reminiscent of Animals as Leaders, Polyphia, Intervals, maybe even a little Polini, but definitely more Intervals, stuff like that. In that sort of realm, and they have some influences of Chon as well, but just mainly instrumental bands. Strawberry Girls is another one that I can think of, but all those sort of instrumentally esque bands, I feel like they fit in that sort of category. The second track is called Cake Batter. I'm loving the naming conventions on these tracks. It's actually quite hilarious. But I really enjoyed the lead slash intro guitar work. I feel like it's cool. It sounded super familiar, almost as if it was some other sort of riff that I've heard before, or in a similar style or something like that. But definitely harken back to some other instrumental esque bands. But definitely reminds me, like I said, of Polyphia, Intervals, to name a few. I feel like this is, if you enjoy those bands, this is definitely in your wheelhouse and definitely you should check out. I feel like the song flows very well, considering that they don't have vocals. That's the one thing that always gets me on instrumental music, is that they don't have a vocalist, so a lot of the instruments have to kind of carry the weight of a vocalist. So I feel like they're doing a pretty good job of it so far. This is definitely a great track, but definitely not my favorites. But we'll get into my favorites later. Track number 3 is Bazooka. I love the lead work on this as well. Obviously, those sort of things stand out a lot more considering that there is no vocals. I feel like it has some more rock vibes rather than sort of more metal vibes to it, in my opinion. But I don't think anything's super overdone or super fancy. I feel like it's very straight to the point, which I enjoy. I feel like a lot of bands, when they have instrumental music, they just kind of go all out, and it's just 100%, 120%, and sometimes it gets a little bit too much. That's why for me, I like the newer Polyphia album because it feels a little bit more immersed, rather than just who can tread the most. So really enjoyed that track. I think it's another standout track for them. Track number four is Keychains. This one, I believe, is their first single. I'll have to double check on that one. But this one was a really great track. It's got a very cool groove to it as well. Like I said, I liked some of the sort of added, instruments on top of that, like synth, just sort of that whole ambience and space sort of thing. I feel like that kind of adds another layer, another dimension to the tracks. Um, so kind of like the dissonant end with that riff and sort of things. I'm a guitar player, so I kind of pick that out more or less than anything else when I listen to music. So I really enjoyed that. I think that's a cool little aspect to them. I feel like they should maybe play off that the next album. I feel like that'd be really awesome. But overall, I think this was a great single, and I feel like it kind of encompasses all the tracks on this album, but in a nutshell. But I really enjoyed that one as well. Track number five is called San Juan. This one has a strong Chon vibe to it, especially in that intro portion of the track. Really love Chon, so it's kind of cool to see that like jazz formation, sort of jazz esque riffing. Really enjoyed that, and then it kind of goes into more of a rock direction after the intro slash chorus kind of thing. Definitely enjoy that. I would definitely say the just again the whole band sort of thing. I feel like they kind of nailed that in that regard, especially in this track and just later tracks. They just seem like they're a little bit more together after five and on, at least in my opinion. I feel like this is the part where the album starts getting really good, and this is my first favorite track. So definitely go check out San Juan when it releases. So the next track is called Sky Garden. I would definitely say this is another one of my favorites. Um, I like the difference in time change and that breakdown esque part in, I guess, I forget what part time number the thing was in, but definitely that breakdown is one of my favorites of the year. I think it was super cool and kind of unexpected, at least in my opinion. And that was me listening to it, probably 10 times. So it's cool to see that. I like the dark undertones, and some of the parts in this track at least remind me a lot of like Periphery and Haunted Shores in terms of riff style. So definitely, if they do that along with like Keychain San Juan, if they do those sort of, in that compassing sort of sound, I feel like they could really make a name for themselves because that's kind of cool. And I like that kind of mix of different genres in terms of that. Track number seven would is called Pioneer. Sorry. But I feel like this track needs vocals. I don't know if it's just me or something like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't sound good without vocals. I think, they're incredible artists and they obviously know what they're doing. But I feel like if they added vocals to this track would be like on another level. So if you are a vocalist, maybe you should try doing like a vocal rendition of it. That'd be really ridiculous. But I would definitely say this is one of the more technical tracks on the record. All of them have been kind of technical, but I feel like they've really kind of hit their peak on the last couple. It just gets really technical and really intriguing, at least in my opinion. So really enjoyed that. I like the dual guitar and drum kind of play off of each other. I've always enjoyed that in instrumental music. I feel like you don't get that enough in, band esque music with a vocalist. So it's cool to see that side of things. Obviously, the vocals don't take up that spot, so you have to fill it with something that would have that sort of weight to it. So I feel like they did an awesome job with that. And I would definitely say this one's another one of my favorites. It's got some really awesome groove to it, and it's definitely worth checking out when it comes out. So, track number eight is called Guanchara. I'm pretty sure I pronunciated that right. It would definitely be the heaviest track of the record. I would definitely say the second half, in my opinion, of this album has just blown me away. Um, Not saying the first four tracks weren't great, but I feel like they really picked up after San Juan, at least in my opinion, like I mentioned earlier. Just saying what I was mentioning earlier, just with vocals, it's always hard to, well, in instrumental music, at least in my opinion, I feel like it's hard to, replicate a space that a vocalist would normally take up. So I feel like they have done a really good job of kind of squashing that, and just making, obviously their own music and their own sound. But I also feel like they have done an awesome job of just kind of not even like, for me at least, not even realizing that there wasn't a vocalist in there. I just had that sort of atmosphere, and it really filled the gaps in between where a vocalist should be in the track, even though there is no vocalist. So I think that's quite an achievement, at least in my opinion. And I feel like you guys would enjoy it if you are an instrumental music lover or just a music lover in general. I feel like this can definitely be for pretty much anyone. Again, it doesn't have any lyrics, so it does have this sort of cool vibes to it that you wouldn't necessarily get if you had a vocalist. So definitely good on them. And I just feel like this track has a lot of life to it, even though, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have a vocalist. So kudos to them. They did a really awesome job on this one. I think this was the second single that they released, and it also has one of the guitars from Tooth Grinder, if I'm not mistaken. So that's really awesome as well. They're a great band too. So if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. And lastly, the last track is the title track, of course, Cartographer. I feel like it's a great way to round out the end of the album, and I feel like it's a fitting track to, of course, end the album out with. The drums instrumentally is just on point, and I like the rhythmic flow, and I feel like they have definitely saved some of the best tracks for last. I feel like the last three are their most solid tracks on the record, without a doubt. So that's really cool to see. So some pros and cons of this record, at least in my opinion. I feel like, you know, they have done a really good job of what they did. I feel like, again, at some points it feels like it's almost lacking in certain spaces just because it doesn't have a vocalist, and I'm so used to listening to music with vocals in it. Um, that kind of threw me for a bit, but after a few listens, I feel like that's kind of dissipated. But I would definitely say maybe have some like features on with vocalists in another album. That would be actually kind of cool to see that. I know Strawberry Girls has done that a lot, so I feel like it would be cool to see a spin on a track with vocals on it and stuff like that. You could keep the track the same, but just maybe add some like vocal layers or like an actual vocalist on it. That would be, I feel like that would be really cool and something unique. Um, some other cons, I feel like, um, I really don't have any. I feel like this really is just a super rounded out album. I feel like it started off a little bit slow, but towards the end, it really caught my attention, and it made me really excited for the next album that they're going to be doing. So shout outs to you, Chronologist, for sending the record over to me. It was a pleasure checking it out and reviewing it. Hopefully you like my review of it. If you do, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, my rating on this record, I probably give it a 8.7 out of 10. I think it's certainly a great record to check out. Definitely listen to if you like any of the bands that I mentioned earlier, like Polyphia, Intervals, a little bit Animals as Leaders. I'm trying to think who else. Chon, just Strawberry Girls, just like a lot of instrumental music. I feel like this would be right up your alley, and definitely give it a listen because these guys need the support. So if you can go pick it up, I will definitely go pick up a physical copy. I'm a physical copy junkie, so I always love picking up CDs. So definitely go support these guys. I'll make sure to leave links in the description where you can check out their band. And we will be doing an interview with them very shortly, so be on the lookout for that as well. Like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what I do. Also, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy this band or if you enjoyed my review. And that's pretty much it, and we'll talk to you later. Deuces. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.